Hi, Cancer. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of messages for us Cancers. As you all know, I am a Cancer moon. These messages are for Cancer sun, moon, and rising. Or if you have the moon in your first house, and possibly if you have the sun in the fourth house. Okay? Your fourth house. So, if you would like to book a free reading with, not a free reading, why do I always say that? If you would like to book a reading with me, email providencetarotkendrick@gmail.com. I'm going to be doing a special for January and the new year, and I'll decide when I'm going to stop doing it at some point this month. Maybe I'll just make it for all of January. 20 minutes for $20. Okay. So email providencetarotkendrick@gmail.com if you would like that. Also, you can follow me on Instagram. I am Providence Tarot there. I'm also NYC Kendrick. That's my personal account. More pictures of me doing things there. If you follow Kendrick NYC, that is going to just be, you know, random pictures throughout the city. Okay, I'm using the Morgan Greer Tarot deck today, right? Strength card came up. Okay, so this is talking about the ability to deal with life's highs and lows without getting too overwhelmed, right? Not being too emotionally overwhelmed to the point where it gets in the way of you being able to achieve something or see to it that work gets done that needs to be done, right? It's an eighth. So it is related to the 8th house of Scorpio, which is ruled by Mars. Very powerful, very fiery, very demonstrative in terms of action-oriented, you know, taking actions. Also, Pluto rules the 8th house. That's talking about change, transformation, you know, the power of being able to change, you know, and allowing yourself not to use the force of your desire, right? Okay, so let me go ahead and shuffle it again. I'm going to do it 2 more times. I hope that you guys are excited for your lunar eclipse that's coming up in Cancer. If you're a Libra, that's your 10th house. If you're a Libra rising, it's your 10th house of career. Okay, so the 7 of Wands has popped up. Okay, that's Mars and Leo, I was just talking about that. And here we go with the Chariot, which is your energy, Cancer. Sorry, I am getting in the way. Let me just go ahead and do that. Put that back together. Sorry, Spirit. Okay, perfect. That was smooth. All right. That was a welcomed move. Okay, here we go. I'm going to cut the deck and then I'm going to lay them out. It's like Tuesday morning. I know people are at work. Okay, anyway, here we go with the 7 of Cups being at the bottom of the deck. So some of you are dealing with trying to understand some things in terms of love or in terms of how you relate to an emotional process that you might be having in a relationship. Obviously. And this is just talking about what your options are. You're trying to weigh out your options in terms of what you desire and what you like, what's going to bring you pleasure, what's going to bring you, you know, closer to what it is that you feel like is there to help you complete you. You know, there's something, a void that is missing somewhere. This could even have to do with, you know, trying to balance out your sexual nature or your sexual desires. I was talking about Leo, I was talking about Pluto, and Pluto has a very significant placement with Scorpio, right? Which this card is Venus in Scorpio. And then, Leo, Pluto is exalted there, although I've heard other people say that Neptune is exalted there. However, this is a very Neptunian card. It is talking about being in two different realities, right? Because it's a 7, so you're weighing out your emotions and how you feel about something that you may have even had some, bitter feelings towards, or maybe resentment towards in the past, because it is related to the 7, which is the chariot. So we're talking about movement forward. It's kind of like saying, how am I going to move forward and allow myself to detach, okay, emotionally from that which might have controlled me in the past. You know what I mean? Because I'm ready to move forward. And that doesn't mean I have to move forward with what it is that I was dealing with in the past that got me to this point of feeling like, maybe emotionally disoriented, or like, maybe not really knowing what to say right now, or how to express yourself, verbally and emotionally. And, this is also kind of like, wanting to detoxify something to bring about some kind of like equilibrium, right? Or to kind of like clean the slate, right? That's really what this has to do with. This also might even have to do with your emotional attachment to someone that might be unhealthy for you, because they might have some addictions, right? Or they might have some secrets, or there might be some hidden things that they are willing to keep away from the relationship, or from whatever it is that you guys share together, or whatever experience that you might be identifying with together, right? This card does talk about being like just in between. What's the reason for any of this? What's the reason for any of this? I feel like that's some of you guys are thinking that, like, what's going on, right? Also, it's kind of like how someone that you are close to, right, you have an intimate relationship to, has control over your emotions. There's some sort of like insecurities here, right? Because the 7, Cancer, is kind of emotionally insecure at times. Libra can be insecure in their thought process, because they're trying not to mix thoughts and feelings together. And then this is also, this is just a mess right here, this card. So there could be a situation that you feel like, not so sure about, and it's okay. So let's go ahead and lay the cards out. So whoever that is that just came in, that was the 7 of Cups. That's the card at the bottom of the deck. We're going to see how it relates to everything here. But there is some movement forward, because, the 7s are conflict with an advantage. And also during the pre-shuffle, the 7 of Wands came up, which is talking about overcoming the adversity that this card also brings up as well. You're ready, you're prepared to deal with it. That doesn't mean that it's not challenging, right? And then you got the Chariot, which is supporting these 7s too. The Chariot came up in the pre-shuffle, okay? So that's also talking about moving forward. Now you have wisdom on something. I feel like maybe the information that you got from, a process, right? Weighing something out, maybe trying to like, watching someone and seeing how they're behaving, or seeing what they're going to do, that type of thing. I feel like you gained some knowledge and you gained some wisdom that allowed you to come to terms with what situation that, you might have been, getting on your nerves, right? So now you're able to move forward from it in a different way than you were before, because like in the past, it might have been like not good. It might have just been kind of like the worst part, but like it's almost like the worst part is behind you. It's behind us, right? So now we're moving forward, okay? And we're going to have a responsibility and a duty to deal with whatever we feel like we want to hold on to that might have brought us pleasure, right? Even after this card, right? And then we're going to realize what's important for us and our own transformative power, right? Our own energy, what makes us feel like potent beings ourselves, aside from whatever anyone else might be injecting into our lives that encourages or influences us. We're talking about us, okay? Anyway, let me pull the card over the challenge. Anyway, here we go. Oh, something fell. I'm gonna put that back. So in the center of the reading here, we have the Justice card, which is Libra, and that rules the 7th house, okay? And Venus is ruled by, Venus rules Libra and the Justice card. And there's also Saturn here. So there's a karmic relationship that we're dealing with here that we want to move forward with, or move forward from. There are some hidden things, right? Because this talks about hidden things too, because that cloak behind her is saying that the truth might be being hidden you know, in terms of like the destructive behavior that someone might be experiencing in their alone time. Someone might be having some destructive ways in a relationship, or there might be some resentment in towards, you know, a person in a relationship, you know, between two people. You know, it's kind of like, how are we going to get past this? How are we going to reach a point of equilibrium? How are we going to feel like we're being fair to each other? How am I going to gain more perspective from that which I felt like just clouded my mind, made me feel like there was veins of disgusting things that needed to be cleared out. I don't know, that's kind of gross. But it's like the connections and the networking or the connections that you have with unhealthy people, or it could even be people that you know or that we know that have unhealthy ties to other people, that type of thing. You know what I mean? So we're dealing with that. We're weighing out how that is affecting us, because Libra is very affected. The sevens are very affected. Scorpio is very affected. Cancer is very affected. So we're looking at like the subtle ways that we are absorbing certain stresses from dealing with other people's bullshit. Basically, sorry for cursing. I will not do that again, hopefully. And this is Queen of Cups, which is Cancer. This is talking about definitely being intuitive, definitely understanding what your subconscious is telling you really in your gut, right? This is also kind of like, you know, just needing to spend some time alone to process some things. You know, if you might have been overextending yourself, or you might have been, you know, just kind of like being present for other people, maybe it's time for you to just really deal with, you know, nurturing yourself and putting more energy back into yourself. You might be dealing with a Cancer person, right? You might even be dealing with a Gemini. You could be dealing with a Libra for sure, or an Aquarius, right? Or, yeah, or Gemini or Pisces, okay? And I already said that with these two cards, too. Any water sign here. So that's the challenge. You're dealing with a challenge in terms of a water sign, or you yourself might be dealing with, you know, your feelings and how to be fair in a situation, and understanding what someone else's perspective is and trying to see their side as well. You know what I mean? So you could be really, really trying hard, because the Queen of Cups is cardinal and it's taking a leadership role. So you're trying to be there for someone to understand their side, but then at the same time, you're like, yeah, there also is my side too, and I have needs, and I need to be aware of what my needs are, and I need to put that energy into myself so I can be good. You know what I mean? Here I go. Let me go ahead and flip over your past card. Wow, change, okay? New perspective that change brings. And this is potent energy as well. This is like a gift of inspiration from, you know, the universe or from the heavens above, right? This is a breath of fresh air. So there's a new situation that's starting, or some of you need this new situation. You want this new situation. You want to assert this ending so that this new beginning can form for you, right? And this is the Ace of Swords, okay? Related to the Magician, in your mind, change of focus, right? Change of habit as well, right? Because Mercury does program us in our habits, right? You're trying to get out of these bad habits with these relationships, or you're trying to stop the cycle, right? Because this is a reduction from the 10, right? That 1 and that 0 reduces to this 1. So it also is talking about enlightenment, you know, feeling sort of spiritually enlightened. And as I, you know, am using this deck, the Morgan Greer deck, a card has just appeared to me, kind of. See that? And I was talking about the Magician. I think that's what it is, right? Perspective, understanding what your capabilities are. What are your abilities? What can you do here? How can you change focus? You do have the power of the mind. It's a psychological thing, you know what I mean? When we can't get out of a situation, or we can't shake something, it's psychological, right? Because we've been trained, we've been programmed to think a certain way, to feel a certain way. People have certain powers over us, powers of intimidation that cause us to sort of feel like we're backed into a corner. We put ourselves there, right? Because you are where you are, right, in that moment, and that's it. That's where you find yourself is where you will be, or something like that. So you put yourself where you are, right? Not in all situations, because sometimes we don't have the control of where we might wind up. You know what I mean? Just because of what we might have been giving up along the way that got us there, right? We just somehow found ourselves here. But right now, you're trying to move forward from this place that you found yourself into a new beginning, right? A change of perspective. This could be movement, right? It could be travel, okay? And it could also just be cutting someone off or cutting something off, right? The travel could have been what created the distance and cut something off. It could have even been movement, or this could have been like a change of job or a change of career. Some of you might have even been thinking about, enhancing your skills, right? Because this Ace of Swords is the Magician as well, related to that. And also it's just kind of like maybe job, work, career, because the 10s are related to the 10th house of Capricorn, and that talks about work and career. So change of focus in career, change of focus in work. You move for a job, perhaps you're thinking about moving or changing jobs, that type of thing, or you're just thinking about changing part of your identity, like, something maybe even about your appearance, okay? Let's look at the Sun position. Sun position is bringing focus to a change of phase that the Page of Cups announced, right? In terms of feelings, right? So there was a message, there was an announcement, there was a situation, right? That kind of like got to a point where you had to deal with how you might have been, what you may have learned from the situation, right? What you had been like programmed to sort of like start to realize what you were feeling, right? It's the realization of the feelings that you're having and kind of like the weight of that, and also this is just kind of like bringing focus to having to maybe give something up, or the change the change that's happening is affecting you emotionally, and it's because you might have to give up some type of way that you were doing something, right? Because the pages are related to the world, which is talking about learning, which is talking about getting healthy habits that bring things into formation, or work that brings something into formation. So I felt like you got used to something, or you were working on something that changed for you, right? It could even been like the place that you were in or anything like that, but it's affecting you emotionally, and you know that it is, and you're kind of like trying to deal with it, right? It's like you're learning from yourself as you go. You have to be compassionate to yourself too, right? Don't be too hard on yourself. That's what this is saying too, because of the ways that things have maybe affected you, and also how things are affecting you now that they are changing. You know what I mean? It's okay. Right, because the Page of Cups does have some things to learn. So it's saying don't be too emotionally overreactive, right? Too soon, right? Feel it out, right? Because you're learning from the ways that you feel about things, right? You don't want to jump to conclusions and start saying things, or start proclaiming things, or start to be like, well, this is what I'm going to do now, because you know what I mean? You just got to wait a little bit, okay? And now let's look at the Moon position. The Moon position, wow, there's a lot of depth of feelings and emotions and things that are happening now that, because you might be finding yourself in a better situation, or something that's changing for you, but it's changing for you out of another situation that involved a lot of trauma that you were still attaching, your present state of being to, right? Because you're like, I'm here because of that. That happened because of this and this and that. You know what I mean? That's kind of like what this card talks about. And then this card is like kind of putting you in that place. But then you have to think about it so you understand where you stand, right? You have to know how you feel about it, right? You have to process through it. You have to know you got to be fair to yourself, right? And then this is saying that, yeah, within all of that, you still have to know that you're human. You're not perfect. You have needs. Sometimes you are intimidated. Sometimes you do cry. Sometimes people don't understand you. Sometimes you do want what you want, and you don't care what other people want, and you have to go with that. You know what I mean? Sometimes, and then with any given situation, there's a give and take. That's why the 7 came up, right? Because you're weighing things out. Things that you can't change. So why are you weighing things out that you can't change? This 6 of Cups is here, right? This is in the Moon position. So this is talking about past experiences that might be coming back around in terms of love, or in terms of just like revisiting a feeling, right? Something is sparking, triggering something in your subconscious, right? You might be revisiting from your past, revisiting a situation from your past, that springs nostalgia, and that is why, this feels good, or this is just something that's kind of like you're familiar with, right? And it's kind of bringing you a sense of comfort, right? Because it's in a moon position, and it's giving you a sense of stability, because this is fixed. This is a fixed planet in a fixed sign. So these are stable emotions, right? We're trying to ground ourselves in our stable emotions, right? We're not trying to be emotionally unstable here, right? Okay. And also, sorry about that. We're trying to cleanse ourselves of the old energy of something that might have made us feel resentment, jealousy towards something, right? It's related to the Lovers. So it's saying that, like, whatever it was that you felt like you were going through, that you wanted to get something out of, but you may have not gotten that thing that you desired out of what was placed in front of you, right? Your experience, you did, right? Because you're understanding something, you're learning something deeper than just like the 3D meaning behind what you desired or what you wanted in the past, right? Because sometimes we don't really know what we want. We have to like have other people or go through experiences to sort of show us what we want, because this is like trial and error, right? Because it's talking about children here too. This could be the growth of children, or the growth of something that was in its infancy, right? Or this could just be talking about change that's happening. It's Sun and Scorpio. So it is talking about growth. It is talking about transformation, and your emotions are turning over. You feel a different way now about something that you really might have wanted to like just claw into before. But it's different, you're not feeling that way anymore. But it was once probably there. Okay? Let's look at the anxieties, which are going to be related to that Six of Cups. Anxieties, King of Pentacles. So it could have to do with someone that you had opposing energy with. Maybe there was like headbutting, or maybe there was just kind of like some not getting along, you know what I mean? That type of thing. Because the moon position here has Scorpio, and this is Taurus in the anxieties. So those are opposing each other, right? Opposites. Anyway, this King of Pentacles person, you having some anxieties about them, right? Are they as reliable as you want them to be, right? Are they as reliable as you want them to be? Also, you're kind of like worried about the impulsive behavior behind this person. It's like they have a set place in your reality, right? You believe and know this person to be who they are to you, and you value them in the way that you value them. But that doesn't take away all of the things that also are behind them, right? And that make them up on the inside. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to limit yourself to someone just because they are what you know. And that's what Taurus, that Taurus energy is. I'm committed to this because it's familiar. I feel comfortable with this because I'm familiar with you. And that's what this is talking about. Oh, that familiarity. That's why these two cards are very similar. It's like the sign that is opposite your sign, whichever one, Sun, Moon, or Rising, it's very similar to you in different ways. It's like the other side of the coin. You know what I mean? So yeah, you're like, can I trust this person? They are reliable in many different ways. They do bring me some kind of security, but then like I gotta be careful. You just do, right? Let them be that person that they are best for you. And it's not, taking advantage or anything like this. Hopefully it's not a material thing that we're dealing with. But let people be who they can be at their best for you, right? So if that means that you have to create limits or boundaries for this person and for yourself, then do that. Because then you'll start to value them for who they are more, right? Because you know what you can't deal with. Put that behind you. Move on from that, because there's some things about people. You can't change ways that people are, because they have basically built this person that they are. They're meant to learn from people and deconstruct, right? And transform themselves, right? Over time, but that's them, that's their job. It's not our job to transform people, Cancer, and we want to, right? Because we're the mother, right? We know what they need and what's gonna bring them, you know, more pleasure and more balance in their life. We can see it, we can feel it, we know. They just need love. But sometimes you have to let people be. In the Mars position, we have change going on in your reality. It could be movement from one place to another, which I already referred to at the beginning. This is Jupiter in Capricorn. Jupiter is in Capricorn right now, and it is in its detriment, right? It's in its fall, I believe. Is that correct? Fall of detriment. Okay, so this is talking about dealing with a situation that brings a lot of pressure, right? A lot of insecurity, right? In terms of money, financial insecurity. Maybe you're having to squeeze your finances or put money or spend money in places that you didn't expect, right? Because it's Jupiter in Capricorn. Unexpected responsibilities, right? And this is kind of like being triggered by the responsibilities that you have. It's kind of like making you feel like you might be spread thin here with the responsibilities or with the amount of things that you feel like are on your list that you need to do. You know? And it's okay because it's in your house of relationships, right? So this could be like you really having to deal with, you know, some hidden realities within your relationships. And you're having to assert yourself by knowing and understanding that there are some hidden things here and there are some real things here. Don't get lost also in the physical, right? Because Capricorn is the body, right? And bones. Jupiter is a lot of something. This could be some of you guys eating a lot. Some of you guys could be overeating to compensate for these, you know, these feelings, right? Or you could be spending a lot of money on pleasurable things just to make yourself feel better about, you know, what you might be going through. The highs and the lows, the ups and the downs, the pros and the cons. You know, it's okay. With this card being in the Mars position, this is just saying, you know, plan better, you know, be a little bit more diligent, more, right? More Capricorn. That's what that says. Jupiter and Capricorn, more Capricorn. Slow it down a little bit more. Spend a little bit less, but get the better product of the lesser expensive. I went to the dollar store the other day looking for mattress pads, right? I got it's like the mattress was nice, but then I was like, I don't want to spend $60 on a mattress pad. I want to spend like $10, $20 on a mattress pad, but it definitely can't be vinyl. I need something that's going to be not sweaty and hot. So that's, you know, being more frugal. This card is talking about frugality, right, as well. And it's also saying allowing yourself to restrict and restrain so that you can be more productive, being more practical, more practicalness, right? And then you'll start to see those changes that you need and want to see in those areas that really matter. Because this is talking about also thinking about what really matters and going the distance on what really matters and being able to see those changes where they really matter. You're thinking, communicating, right? Calculating, okay? You need to see these changes happen. Some of you are thinking about, you know, because this is in the Mars position and Capricorn is talking about career, right? You're starting to think about like what you need out of your career and what your career can provide for you. Because it's a two. This is reflection, right? I'm giving and I'm taking, right? Is it worth it? Let me work it? Is that what they say? Put my thing down, flip it, and reverse it? Okay? Honey. It's okay. We're doing good. This card is just making us, it's just making us be a little bit more thoughtful, right, Gemini, about how we are spending money. What really matters, what you actually really do need. You can be fierce on a budget. In your Venus position, okay, here we go with that Ace of Swords from the past, right? Bam, the past. Now, that Venus position, Here we go. A situation went from start to finish in a relationship. A past relationship, it could have been quick, bam, Jupiter, Wheel of Fortune, or it could have been slow over a long period of time, Capricorn 10th house, Saturn. Regardless of how long or short it was, you learned a lot, okay? Either you learned a lot in a short amount of time, or you learned a lot over a long time, honey. And I know now. Mm-hmm. I know. Right? Because this is Sun in Gemini, so it could be like, ooh, it's this. And then you're like, no, it's not that. It's actually this. Stop trying to blink. Stop blinking your eyes at me. Don't give me those doe eyes. Right? Maniacal. No. I've seen it. I know it. I have experience with this. And it's over. Or something is what I said it was months ago, a couple weeks ago, what I already thought it was in the beginning, even though we've gotten to this point right now. Yeah. That's what I thought it was. And this is the Lord of Ruin. You know, this is a karmic fated card. Things that begin do end. Things that begin do end. Right? Ain't that the truth? But things that end can have a new beginning, but it's a change of perspective, and there's going to have to be some maturity there that is going to have to, like, that when we'll be able to practice that perspective, right? Okay, that philosophy. Now I'm ready to flip over your future cards, Cancer, and we're doing pretty good on timing. Knight of Pentacles, a better situation coming to you in terms of job moving forward, right? Because like I was saying, there's some change that you want to see in your job process, okay? And you definitely are trying to figure out what are the steps, right? How can I plan to make this happen, okay? How can I create this new reality for myself and do it in a meaningful and thoughtful way and not just go for anything that comes that might be a little bit better, but something that'll be lasting, that'll be good for me, that, like I said, I can rely on. You know what I mean? How has my past changed me for this new reality that I see myself walking into? Business-wise, just being healthier, right? Giving yourself more skills, or wanting to be able to provide more or do more. You're like, okay, I've done this thing. Now I want to do this thing. How can somebody might even be presenting you with an opportunity of work? Because Virgo does talk about, you know, your daily life, right? Because you practice habits in your daily life that are going to bring about real changes, right? Over long periods of time. Okay? And this is fire and earth, right? All the knights are fire. So being that this is Virgo, it's also a little bit of the card that comes before it. And that is Leo, right? Responsibility. I have a responsibility to make this change in my life so that I can feel like I'm getting out of life what I deserve. Virgo rules the 6th house. This is talking about career transformations or just, you know, changes that are going to bring more powerful gains, right? That are going to change things for you for real. Not just being able to buy a more expensive bag or being able to, you know, go to a nice restaurant that time. You know, you want to be able to enjoy life. You want to be able to feel good about going to work every day. You want to look nice going to work and all that, right? You know, because Virgo does want things to be ideal and things to be perfected. So you're definitely walking into that. You know, there's intimidations that come with upgrades, right? Because you can't be the same basic that you were before. When you have an upgrade or when you choose to upgrade yourself, right? There's intimidations that come with new things that challenge us. Because Virgo is challenging. Because they want you to be better. It's not saying like, let me get you up in here and show you how you not. It's like, let me help you see where you can be better. And this is you knowing that you can be better, because Virgo is very intuitive, right? It's the sixth house, and that's like one of the sixes that are in that Cancer 6-9 symbol, right? The other one will be Sagittarius, right? And it's funny because when you take 6 and 9 and you add it together, it's 15. And the opposite of Cancer is Capricorn. And 15 is, what is that? Is that the devil? Yeah. It's so weird how this stuff works. And that's giving you esoteric. Oh, I just spoke of the tower. I didn't mean to. But this is talking about change, darling. And the tower is a 7, right? Because the devil is number 15, but the tower is number 16. You add that 1 and that 6. That's talking about change, honey. And that's Mars. Mars is how you work. So some of you guys could be thinking about job-oriented things. Some of you could be thinking about home-oriented things, changing that. How you relate to a reality that you felt like might have been oppressing you before, or might have been stifling you, getting in the way, right? Holding you down, keeping you stuck in one place like a tower is. But now you're not being stuck in that place. You're moving forward. This 7 is saying the emotional confusion that came from you feeling stuck, Scorpio, in that place. And Libra, I'm in one place, but I'm moving around that one place. Cancer, I want to move forward from this, right? You can get through it. And it might even see like, I can't see my way through this. But you know what? What the hell is this card coming out? You can. The universe is working for you, right? So the tower is here, and the 10 of swords is here, and the ace of swords is here supporting that, right? There's a new beginning, and the magician kind of like peeked out and was like, hey, I'm here. So we got that going, you know. Perspective is changing, right? Balancing itself out. You're understanding why something happened, you know, and you're understanding that why it happened had nothing to do with like you not allowing it to happen, right? Like it was going to happen because it was karmic. This is Gemini energy, right? Definitely relationship oriented things, with the Justice card being here in the center. Or it could be a job thing, because Venus rules Libra, and Libra is talking about, you know, does my job bring me pleasure, right? Does this relationship bring me pleasure? I have a responsibility to work on a relationship, but is it bringing me pleasure if I'm working on it? If I'm doing this job, Saturn, is it bringing me anything back, right? That devil card that, you know, hey, Justice, like Libra and Capricorn, very closely tied through Saturn. Oh, right? Venus is actually in Aquarius right now. So it's like, you know, and that's why Saturn is was a ruler of Aquarius, you know, cuz wisdom comes with the change of perspective, right? And relationships actually help challenge your perspective and your belief systems. So you do come out of it learning something. You know, we do feel karmically attached to those people that we had relationships in the past. It's okay if you're feeling some kind of way of being attached to them or connected to them still, right? You know, you don't want to fight that feeling of having gone through something with someone and that changing you, that experience changing you. You know, the people were put here on earth by the powers that be, right? It wasn't that like they were like, I was born and I'm raised and I'm gonna go and find them and I'm gonna make their life miserable and they're never gonna forget. Ooh, no one's doing that, right? There could be some hateful people that once they get in your close quarters and they meet you, that they want to destroy things, and you know that's a different type of energy. That's kind of like Mars, Pluto, Scorpio, any of those, Pluto or Sun. Now let's look at your rising card, the card that is peaking up here, right? This is like saying, wow, we're gonna start to come up from here, right? What's uplifting you? Wow. Okay, you better end with that card. I'm going to show it to you. Bam. Wheel of Fortune, going back to that ace, right? Going back to that magician travel movement, right? So there's a lot going on. You might even be feeling exhausted. Wow, when is this going to end? You know what I mean? You might be like, whoa, I'm going around in circles with this. This is a hamster wheel. I'm doing a lot to try to distract myself from whatever it is that, I should be focused on. You know what I mean? What is distracting you? There, like I said, you might have to detach from others, right? Because it's kind of like things might be distracting you from doing what you need to do, right? It's like, stop. Right? Stop trying to like give me opportunities and give me moments or show me that, there's this chance or open me up to the idea that there's this chance or like even that. But then this is also for those of you that are looking for work. It's saying that, hey, stuff is there. It's there for you to grab. You know what I mean? Life is there. It's for you to experience. It's for you to experience life. It's like when I was talking about, oh, the people weren't put here, to make you go through hell, right? They were put here. They had experience. They came from a certain place. They have their philosophy, Sagittarius, because of what they've learned and where they come from and how they've been affected. You know what I mean? What triggers their emotional response to life that makes them want to then turn those emotional responses that they're having to their karma into something that changes their life for them. It makes you feel like you're in control when you allow yourself to use life as, your road to success. You know what I mean? Your road to enlightenment, right? The way that you're gonna get to feeling like I'm getting there, like that type of thing. So don't let those things that are weighted, that are heavy, that are meant to teach you certain things about yourself, not just meant to show you how much you might hate somebody, which I know none of you guys do, or any of that. It's meant to get you to this place that you can feel that you're going to, right? You're like, well, I want to be this. You can reach the level of happiness, pleasure, greatness that you want, right? Just stop letting stuff get in your way, And I'm not saying that you're going to reach the level of greatness to be like a billionaire because you don't want to be unrealistic. You have to allow yourself to go through if you keep letting people hold you back, then you definitely are not going to be a billionaire or a billionaire, right? You can just stop forgetting, right? You just stop right there. Because I can tell you this, anyone that is like a millionaire or a billionaire or someone that's super hugely successful, they are not letting people get in their way. And they don't have to be sharks. Some of them might be. But you definitely aren't going to be, letting stuff that... Don't let things affect you that are going to stop you from living your life to the fullest. Right? That would be so sad. Bam, I'm born, I'm here, I have a family, I have people that I love, that love me too, and then this one person comes in, or these other, and then they just make me forget all that shit. No. I love it. But this is good. Karmic, that experience that sent you through it mentally, that might have even made you question yourself and your own psychological or mental health. It's okay. We're coming out of it, right? You do have the Tower in the future. It is talking about change. This might just be a job situation or something, something different, This could be you realizing that somebody may have had sex with somebody. The Tower is Mars. That is also your sexual nature, right? Your impulse, right? This could be like some accidental sexual encounter with somebody, but usually sex is not an accident. These are both sevens. I kind of have been there too. Recently I'm like, I need to feel like my human self. I might be getting closer to that. But, yes, so the Wheel of Fortune, definitely coming in, bringing some newness to you, right? These are basically the aces that you have in the reading here, being that this is the 10 that reduces, right? This is the ace and this is the Wheel of Fortune, right? The Magician is coming in and supporting that, right? Because Mercury is a supportive type of planet, right? That brings about change, right? That helps you move forward, right? Different realities so that you can see where you might be fitting in, faceted, right? Your life is faceted. Oh, there was this time and that time and this time and that time and this time. And then you look at that, all those facets, and you have a jewel in your hand and you're like, this is beautiful, right? All that work, right? It was in the ground. We had to dig it out. We had to cut it, take some things off, shine it up. You know what I mean? This is, you know, there's some things that we have dealt with that are, you know, real, challenging, that we won't just have to, that we can't just like brush off. But, you know, it definitely is making us more seasoned, more experienced you are, and it's good, you know. But this tower is going to say that something might change for you, or there might be some sort of like argument, or there might be some sort of like misunderstanding, because it is a 7 and it is Mars, and Mars in a 7 is not trying to bring about any, you know, fairness in some kind of way, or, you know, yeah. But the foundation's changing, some reality is changing, and it's going to move you forward, and it's going to bring an improvement, right, for you in the long run. And some of you guys are trying to change your career, right? And this could be what this is. I'm leaving, right? Going against the grain. Be careful too, wherever you go. You know, just with like, because you could get into any kind of like, you could fall, you know what I mean? Careful on icy roads, careful in your vehicles, right? That's what this card always tells me too. With Mars, bam, coming forward, right? It being a 7, bam, coming forward. Could be that. Anyway, Cancer, happy full moon lunar eclipse in Cancer, okay? And yeah, if you'd like a reading with me, email providencetarotkendrick@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram. I am NYC and also Providence Tarot there. Yes, I think I am finished with you guys for this time. The weeklies are up. Go ahead and look at it. I stopped timestamping the weeklies because I feel like if you have a placement in any of those signs, it's going to bring you some information. Also, if you want to go through your first house and all the way through, maybe you can like look at it that way. Or let's say Aries is my 7th house, right? So when I would look at the weeklies and I look at Aries, I think of my 7th house and my relationships when I'm listening to that. So you can do it that way. It brings a little bit more complexity to you just getting one card for one sign. And also listen to your sun, moon, and rising for the weeklies. And like I said, I'm going to be doing a 2020 special for the rest of January and maybe a little bit of February. Maybe I'll give you guys a whole month. But a month is a long time. I might have to consider that. But maybe. 20 minutes for $20. Email providencetarotkendrick@gmail.com. And because of the volume, I will probably most likely do all recorded readings. And recorded readings are great because you can always go back and refer to it. I've had 2 instances this week where I gave readings to people in 2018 and they reached out to me. They found me. And one of them was, you know, just in my own office at home. And then the other one was at Shanti, the place that I read at on Sundays, okay? If you're in New York City and you would like to get a personal reading from me in person, you can come to Shanti Bookshop Crystal Gallery. It's at 230 East 14th Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenues in the Union Square East Village area in New York City. Okay, thank you guys so much. Like the video, share the video, and definitely subscribe. Someone said that YouTube was taking away subscribers from people if they haven't like gone to your page in a while or something like that, or haven't commented or liked a video, I forget. So if you're watching this, please subscribe to the channel. All right, thanks everyone. Love you. Cancer Moon.